Hi, welcome to my blog. My name is Tom Shute, and today we're going to work with the pen tool again. This time we're going to work with, if you drop down the menu, we're going to work with the freeform pen tool. With a standard pen tool, as I showed you before, if you click and drag, you can make these cool curves. Well, that takes a lot of effort, and you might not get the kind of results you want very quickly. However, when you work with the freeform pen tool, what it allows you to do is just to draw the curve. And you can see that it straightens it up for you too. So that's kind of cool. So you have all those same features as what you have in a regular pen tool. You know, you can still use your control or command keys to move points around. One thing I want to tell you about is there's a gear when you have this selected. In this fit curve, this is the amount of points that will be available when you make a curve. And if you don't have if you have a large number, there won't be very many points. So let's put in 10. It's 1 to 10. Wow, I'm having a hard time here working. So if we put in 10, and we go in here and we try to make this, trace this flame. Say we wanted to make some cool hot rod flames, and if you did it with the other tool, it would be kind of hard. Okay, so let's hide that. And if we went in here and we went back to our regular pen tool and we alt-clicked on the mesh, you can see that it automatically created those points for us, so we could move those around if we wanted to, and change the radius and, clean this curve up to make it match our pattern without having to go in and try to actually form our curves to each one using the standard pen tool. Let's undo this real quick and create a new layer. So when we're in that freeform pen tool, if we go to this gear, let's get the right tool here. If we go to this gear and we put it at like 2 pixels, you'll see that there's a lot more points created. So there's a lot more points to work with. I'm working with a mouse, so it's kind of hard to get all the points. So let's go in here and we'll grab our pen tool and we'll control click the mesh, and you can see that the amount of points has changed. So we can move this stuff around and get it right where we want it. And make a really cool flame. So what I'll do is I'll pause the video and I want to make a mesh out of this hot rod flame. And this is a good example of you finding an image online or something and you want to recreate your own. You can use it as a template to trace over on a bottom layer and create on a new layer, and we can make all kinds of neat things with these shapes. So if you see a design online that you like, you can just borrow it, just use it as a tracing tool. You don't have to reproduce it exactly. However, what you do want to do is make something that is unique to yourself, but you could use as an inspiration, as a guide like this. So I'm just going to go ahead in here with this tool, and I'm going to draw these flames real quick. And I guess you can watch me. If I could ever get over being sick, seems like I could work a little bit better when I'm not feeling so bad. Okay, so if you don't hear me talking, it's because my throat hurts. Let's go through and make our flames. They don't have to be exact. This freeform tool is going to fix a lot of the jagged edges that we have. We can move our points around after the fact. So like when we made the Christmas tree, it was really hard because I didn't use this tool. Okay, so now we have a mesh. So we can hide this, and you can see that it's created a nice curved mesh for us. And all we have to do is go in and fix it. So we'll grab our normal pen tool, and we'll hold down the command key, which is the control key on a Mac, and we'll click on it. And you can see all the points that are in there for us to use as a guide. Ooh, let me set this down for just 1 second. Here we go. So remember, holding the control key or command key, just pull this into your mesh the way you want it. And if your point isn't exactly the way you like it, use your handles to pull it around. You can make some really cool stuff and not be an artist. Like, you really don't have to know how to draw. You can make these really cool flames. For example, I'm a guy, so I like cool stuff like this. Some of you ladies might not like the flames too well, but just imagine a cool flourish or something like that, or a floral pattern that you like. So I'll pause this, finish this up. I just want to go over with you close up on how you refine some of this stuff. So if you control click, you'll see that you'll have a handle on each side of a point. So get your points roughly where you want them, and then click on either side of it to get that curve exactly where you want it. So we're going to push this one out, and you can lengthen it or shorten the handle to get the curve where you want it to go. Okay. So let's do another one over here. If you don't see a handle, just click on it again on the side that you want it to move, and you'll get it. See, I had to pull that handle way out just to get it to curve the way I wanted it. Okay. So it's just a matter of playing with these handles to get the curve to go fit where you want it. First you move the point where you want it, and then you move the handle the way you want it. And you have to think about it on both sides too, when you're dealing with these really cool compound curves. Yeah, so I'll pause it and I'll finish up. Okay, so here we go. Let me zoom out. I'll hide this. So now you can see we have this path created with our pen tool. Now we can do whatever we want to it. We can make a stroke, which means an outline. We can fill it. So let's create a new layer, and we'll go in and select our pen tool, and we'll right click and we'll say fill the path. But before we do that, let's choose a color. Let's choose a color like maybe an orange color. Maybe a little bit brighter or something. Okay. So now when we go in and fill, it's going to choose our foreground color. Fill the path. The foreground color. Kind of cool. So we make a new layer, and let's go to default colors, and let's fill it again with the black foreground color. which I changed to black. Let's go to our Move tool. And now you can see that we can create like a 3D effect. Not really a great 3D effect, but kind of a cool 3D effect. So let's hide those two. Now, I want to do something a little different. I want to make a new layer. And I want to change this color to maybe green. And I want to fill it with a gradient. So I'm going to fill this layer with a gradient. So we'll come up here and grab our gradient. Okay, maybe a little bit more than that. I'm looking where the green falls off, so where it turns from white to green. And then what we're going to do on this layer is I'm going to make a real 3D flame out of this. So we'll go back to our pen tool, and we're going to right click, and down here you see it says Convert Path to Extrusion. Yes. And now we've created this cool extrusion. We change my workspace. Matter of fact, let me slide this over. Okay. Workspace. And I want to go to 3D. Okay, so now you can see we've got these flames. But I want to do some things to it. Here's where your tools are to do things. So if I want to rotate it or change the extrusion, so you see how thick it is? So if I come over here, I can grab how thick or thin it is. So I'll re-rotate. And you can just hover these little knobs. It's X, Y, and Z. Okay. And then I wanted to, that has to do with the way the light is, this light bulb, how the shadow falls on it. Okay. And you can also bevel it. So if you come over here and you select this guy here, and it's filtered by meshes, and you go to the top, it allows you to deform things or change the cap. So this one's telling you need to move left and right to bevel the face. And this is telling me move up and down. So if we move back, you can see that we're getting a bevel in it. And this controls how much of a radius we put on it. We can move this out and control the actual area in which it's affected. So I can make it more round if I want. Let me pull this around. So it's saying it's 90 degrees here. And I'm saying the inflation angle is going to be 25 degrees. So to be sharper. So there you go. you can make some cool stuff with this. 3Ds, you can make paths, you can skew them, you can stretch them, you can rotate them. And then when you get done, you want to render it. You can just come over and click render. You can also set the anchor point at which things rotate around. So instead of rotating in the center, it's going to rotate around this anchor point. So let's try to get it to rotate. So that's about all I have today, guys. Um, like I said, I wish I was feeling a little bit better. I'd talk a little bit more, try to explain things. Um, whatever you do, you can use these same controls on the other side. Um, you can map it. You can put different textures on it. You can do so much with 3D. But the whole idea is get to that object that you want to create out of 3D. You either have to be an artist or you have to know how to grab templates to copy from that allow you to create objects. And in this case, we used a 3D graphic and the pen tool to create a flame that we then extruded with the 3D properties inside of Photoshop. So I thank you all for visiting my blog today, and until next time, we'll see you soon.